going on, everybody? This is Gavin Talks Pistons, my first YouTube video. And for my first video, I just want to talk about how the Pistons have improved so much from last year. So, last year, 14-68, worst team in the league by far. Wasn't even close. It was embarrassing having to say that's my team just because how horrible they were. Everyone knows, worst streak in NBA history, 28 losses in a row. I remember when they beat the Raptors, I was celebrating like they won a championship. We barely even won that game. We won by like 2 points. We weren't even expected to be a good team, but we weren't even a good team. We were worse than we expected. We were projected to win 20 games. We didn't even get to 20 games. Now, we are a little bit under 2/3 of the way done with the season. We've exceeded that. 29-26. That's better than the Sixers that were supposed to be contenders. The Sixers have 3 perennial all-stars, and we're better than them. We beat them multiple times, I'm pretty sure, this season. Like, how we went from Troy Weaver and Monty Williams to J.B. Bickerstaff and Trajan Langdon, it's the best thing that could happen in this franchise. Another thing, Cade Cunningham took a leap no one was expecting. Everyone was saying he's a bust. Everyone was saying the Pistons wouldn't be competent for years and years until they got someone better than Cade to run the show. Cade now, perennial, he was an all-star. He should have been a starter. And he's a borderline MVP candidate. Most valuable player. Think about what the Pistons would be without him. Cade Cunningham is the reason Detroit basketball is back. Not the only one, but he is definitely a reason we are back. Another one, J.B. Bickerstaff. Last season, if we had this exact same team last season, but with Monty Williams, we would not be nearly this good. Monty Williams is not competent of running a basketball team. JB is. And JB loves Detroit. You can tell when he gets into games, he gets attacked because he's fighting for his team. Because he knows that we are here and we're here to stay. And Trajan coming in, trading for Tim Hardaway Jr., signing Malik Beasley, drafting Ron Holland. Those are all moves that we needed to make and that we did make, and they were great moves. You look at Ron Holland. He loves playing basketball. You can tell he has a high motor. He's going 100% of the time. He moves at one speed, and that one speed is 100 miles per hour. That is what Detroit basketball is. Isaiah Stewart. Yeah, any other team hates him. That's just because he's not their team. He is Detroit basketball. He loves wearing Detroit on his chest. He is what we needed. Yeah, he may not be the best player, but he is culture. Malik Beasley is culture. Malik Beasley, Cade Cunningham, they have shifted the way that we play basketball. We've been without Ivy for a month and a half, and with or without him, we're balling. We are playing good basketball. Yes, we could use him, but we're still hooping even without him. Asar, past 10 games, filling out his role perfectly. Athletic defensive wing that we needed. Yes, he can't shoot, but we don't need him to shoot. He doesn't even attempt threes, but we don't need him to. Because his last game, he had, how many points did he have? He had like 19, 16, I don't remember. But he had 19 points in his last game. And the game before that, 16. Game before that, 16. Game before that, 14. Game before that, 12. He's been hooping, and his defense has been incredible. 1 steal, 4 steals, 2 steals, 1 steal, 3 steal, 2 blocks here, and very little turnovers. That is what we like to see out of Asar. People compare him to his brother. They're like, oh yeah, Ahmed is so much better. But people don't realize, last season, Asar got those blood clots. he didn't have the off season after that Amen had to develop and get better. Amen, he's been hooping this season, but he had an off season to develop. Asar didn't. He missed a quarter of last season. He missed half of this season so far. Not half, but like 30 games maybe. But he's still hooping. I mean, I think it's great what he's doing. And Cade Cunningham just took the leap that no one expected besides Pistons fans. If you're looking at other like fans of other teams, they're probably looking at Cade like, you're an embarrassment. You were the leader of the worst team in NBA history. You were the best guy on that team. You couldn't help your team enough. But the thing was, he had no help around him. His best player last season was maybe Bojan, a vet that could shoot. He was injury prone. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about last season a lot. But the leap that he's taken from last season to this season is actually insane. Last game, 29 points, 7 assists. Another thing is playmaking. His ability to find the ability to find the right pass, the right play to direct the play. Last season, you couldn't really tell because he was making too many mistakes, passing and all that, finding the right guy. This season, he's still turnover heavy, but his usage is because of his usage rate. This season, though, he's taken a leap nobody expected. He's averaging the third most assists in the league, I'm pretty sure. Only behind Trey and Jokic, I think. He's averaging 9.4 assists. He's averaging 25.4 points. And 6 rebounds to go along with that. He may not be the most efficient. He's not horrible efficiency, but he's not horrible efficient, I mean. But, man, especially when you taking the fact that he hasn't played a lot of games in his career, like just this season it already equates for over a quarter of the games that he's played. It's because he's injury prone. But, man, he's hooping. And I think MVP is something big. I think Cade should be an MVP candidate. Most valuable player, not the best player, but the most valuable player to their team. Think about what we would be without Cade. We would probably be the worst team in the league. If you're led by Malik Beasley, if you're led by freaking Dennis Schroeder, you're not going to be a competent team. Cade Parker Cunningham, he has made the Pistons a playoff team. I've been going into the past couple seasons like, oh my God, we can be a play-in team. Last season, we started off 2-1. We lose to Miami first game. We come back and win our next 2 straight. We don't win a game until January. We went from October 28th to January. I think it was December 29th. That's 2 straight months without a win. Now we are on a 4-game win streak, sitting 3 games above 500. Let's take a look at the standings. I know we're the 6th seed. I don't think we're going to fall under that. I think it's just up from here. I think ideal scenario for us, 4 versus 5, Pacers versus us. We're the 5 seed. They're the 4 seed. I think we could beat them in a playoff series. So, Knicks versus Bucks. I think if we played the Knicks in a playoff series, we might steal a game or 2. I don't think we're taking any more than that. If we played the Pacers in a playoff series, I think we're beating them. We are one of the hottest teams in the league. I mean, yeah, we're 6-4 in our last 10 games, but we're on a 4-game win streak. We're over 500 away and at home. That's crazy. Not a lot of teams are like that, but we are. Like the Bucks, I'm looking at it right now. They're 11-15 away. We're 15-13. And just like The Pistons' attendance from this season to last season. Last season, they were bottom 20. This season, we're top 10. The fans are into it. The fans are loving it. Everyone is loving it. I don't know how you could be an NBA fan and not be happy for the Detroit Pistons. Because, I mean, it's like in the NFL, the Lions were horrible. And then they came out last season, made a name for themselves, showed the league who they are. Everyone was happy for them, and now everyone hates them. How could you hate a franchise and the fans? Some of the fans haven't seen this in their lifetimes. I mean, I started watching basketball 5-6 years ago. It's the first time I've ever seen the Pistons actually play good. When they were playing against Chicago up 40, it's the first time I've seen them. And just up that much besides Summer League when they were up 40 on the Bucks. That was crazy in itself, but now we're doing it actual games versus teams better than us last year. We are better than the Magic. The Magic were supposed to be better than us. Hawks were supposed to be better than us. Heat were supposed to be better than us. The Sixers were supposed to be better than us. Let's take a look in the West. We have more wins than the Kings, Warriors, Suns. Detroit basketball we're talking about. Detroit led by Cade Cunningham and Malik Beasley. Even if you look at Malik Beasley from last year, he was not as good as he is now. But Cade has turned him into a player. He has turned him into a 16-point-per-game scorer. He hasn't been that in years. Cade finds him, they run plays for him, and they have turned him in to what he is now. And I hope $55 million for 4 years. I hope he can continue what he's doing. Because if he can't, and we get another piece, we're contenders. I don't care. If we had Jaren Jackson Jr., we're contenders. I don't care. But we could still go on a run. I don't think that's crazy. We might not be that experienced, but this team, the energy, the coaching, the players, these guys actually want to play basketball. And you can tell these guys want to play basketball. They like what they're doing. I think Isaiah Thomas doesn't care about it's obvious. He does not care about his stats. He wants to go out there, and he wants to make impactful plays to make his team better. I think I said Isaiah Thomas. I meant Isaiah Stewart. I think I actually did say Isaiah Thomas. That's my bad. But it's just different than it was last year, man. Last year, literally videos of Cade about to cry. Cade was about to cry last year for how bad we were. It wasn't even his fault. You can't put a 23-year-old out there with guys that aren't even in the league anymore. I'm sure you guys have seen that graphic of our players from last season. Killian Hayes, Malachi Flynn. Those guys aren't even in the league anymore. How do you expect a young guy to go out there and make those guys good? But now all the pressure isn't on him anymore because he has actual players. We just got Dennis Schroeder to go in the game when Cade's out. And the team doesn't look like a disaster when Cade's out. I know Schroeder hasn't been great. I mean, he's been all right, but he's filling out his role perfectly. I wouldn't care if he goes out there and drops 3 points if he's getting 6 assists. We don't need him to go score. We have guys that can score. We just need someone to run the show in case out there, and we got that. It's another move by Trojan that I like. But it's just great to see. As an NBA fan, as a Pistons fan, I think everyone can agree it's great to see the Pistons actually be competent, a competent basketball team. I think basketball is better when they're better, and you just love to see it. My next video will be Friday after we play the Spurs. Make sure you guys tune in for there, or make sure you guys tune into that. I want to thank you all for listening, watching, and I'll see you on Friday.